Knicks fans, what's going on? I'm Danny B. Welcome. This is the first of a new series that I'm going to be doing called Knicks Talk. A little bit more intimate, one-on-one, a little bit different than what you've seen on the Knicks Corner. And my first guest is someone who's been a ticket holder for 28 years now. Every diehard Knicks fan would definitely recognize this guy. He's got his own wall in MSG. And if you were watching Summer League on NBA TV, they featured him quite a lot. So without further ado, Greg Armstrong, how are you, man?
Hey Danny, what's up, man? I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on, man. Like we were saying, sometimes it's tough with schedules. So I'm glad I was able to get the pleasure of speaking with you now,
Yep, I hear you, man.
So the first thing I wanted to ask, man, is a general question, right? Because maybe there's some people out there that don't know you, aren't familiar. So I figure we'll start at the beginning, right? So like I said, 28 years you've had tickets now, right?
30. It's
30
actually, this
years.
is going to
Oh,
be my 30th year
man,
this
I
year
missed
coming
it.
up. Yeah.
30 years, 30 years. That's what's up. So I got to ask then, why and how did you become a Knicks fan? Like what brought you into it?
Well, my brother, when I was growing up in the early 70s, my brother, he used to like Walt Frazier. He was a big Walt Frazier fan.
Okay.
And we had shared a room together. Me and him, we had a room, and he put a lot of posters around the room of Walt Frazier. Back then when he was Clyde, he was Puma, he was the man. And me and my brother, was tight, and I kind of looked up to him. So, we used to watch the games together on Channel 9. That's when the Knicks, it was like after they won their first title, so it was
Right.
1973. And we used to watch the games together, and they won that title that second year, and I was able to see how
Get
it
into it.
was. Yeah, it was kind of cool. And my mother, she bought me a pair of Knick pajamas around that time.
Okay.
And I still have the picture to this day. Matter of fact, here's the picture right here. I don't know if you can see it. That's me with the Knick pajamas on.
Heck yeah.
And,
That's awesome,
yeah,
man.
so I've been a fan since then. Just watching the games on TV, and then it just got into my heart and took on a life of his own.
Right. That's awesome, man. That really is. I love the family aspect of it because I could relate. I actually became a Knicks fan because my aunt and my mom, I guess, I don't know, man, something about Allen Houston, but it drew them in. So I'd come home from school and my mom would be watching Knicks or whatever. So, I slowly started watching and getting into it. And, I wasn't really a diehard, until I got older, obviously. But I still have memories, watching the games with my mom, going over to my aunt's and she's, rocking a Spreewell jersey, so just the little things, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm one of those guys that's always been loyal. So like whatever I started with from little, even if I don't remember how I became like a Mets, like I was just dressed in Mets since I was little, so I never looked back, I'm a loyalist. So I definitely relate to you on that, man. Family is kind of like what brought me in the fold. And that's the best part about the Knicks fandom is that the fan base itself is really like a big family, I mean, just even just me and you, the way that we've been talking, it's like, I've known you forever. Like it's just easy conversation, so one aspect of the Knicks fan verse, I guess you could say, or Knickslandia, as Coach File likes to say. So definitely real cool. I want to ask, man, because I know obviously everybody's been seeing you on Summer League, a couple of weeks ago when we were playing out in Vegas. How long ago did you start going to Summer League games?
I started going to Summer League in 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the year when Phil Jackson was was the boss, and we drafted Clee Anthony early that year. Right, that was that draft, and I just like loved the scene. The way it was like kind of cool that you could get to see the young players as they the first introduction of them coming into the league and everything, and it's just the excitement of and the energy, of being there, cheering them on during their first, games as a pro.
Right.
It was really a download great, a great atmosphere, and it was pretty cool too because at that time the Summer League hadn't blown up, so it was like there was a lot of access to the players. You were able to, pretty much they would play a game and just come into the stands and just talk with with the fans and everything. If there was him, there was Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
Speaking of that, I got some pictures, man.
Yeah.
This is you and Thanasis, right?
Yeah. He was there that year. Shane Larkin was a part of that crew. And I just like the whole scene of Summer League. It's, for the price that you pay for a ticket, which back then was $25, it was a tremendous value because you got to see all the Knicks rookies and you also got to see all the other rookies, the top rookies around the league. You could stay, if you're a hoop junkie like I am, it was like a dream come true. You could just buy a ticket and just stay there all day and just watch games.
Yeah. I can only imagine, man. But me and you were talking a little bit about it, before the show. Just the little nuggets that you were giving me. It sounded like first of all, such value, and not only that, just such a great time to be able to get there and to see everything. Like you said, it's an up close, like behind the scenes type of atmosphere, so it just gives you a whole different perspective. And not only that, but obviously bumping into players and personalities. Here's a picture of you and Alan Hahn. I'm pretty sure this was 14 also, you said, right?
Yeah, that was 14 also. It was funny because me and Alan, we were both talking about Thanasis at that time. He had a really great defensive game. And, we were calling him, it was his tenacity. His tenacity was so off the charts. Thanasis, we were calling him. And we were arguing who created the nickname. But it was pretty cool, to get a chance to, see Larry Johnson was there, a lot of
I got one
for MSG Network.
Yeah.
See all the guys. So it was really cool.
That's awesome. That's real cool. I'm just going to go through a couple, man. You sent me some great gems, so I just want to throw them up. If anybody's listening to this and they're not, viewing it live, you can go on YouTube and see all the visuals. We got, man, let's see. I'm going to try to go in order here. So this was, I believe, 2015. Yep.
Yeah, 2015. That was a great game right there with the Knicks and the Lakers. That's when KP.
Yes.
KP going against D'Angelo Russell with the Lakers. And the one thing about Summer League is that's like Laker country. All the Laker fans, they come up from LA. It's a short drive to Las Vegas. So the place was packed. I mean, it was like 15,000 for a Summer League game. It was like ridiculous. And and KP had a great game that game too. We beat the Lakers, and D'Angelo Russell, he was a turnover machine. I think he had like 9 turnovers that game. But that was really fun.
It is fun, man. That definitely is, and these are memories that clearly stay with you, you know what I mean, years down the road. So it's just awesome, man. I'm going to go through a couple more real quick just so we keep it moving a little bit. Let's see. I got a good one here. This is from 2019.
Yeah, man. That's a classic right there. Me and CP from Knicks Fan TV. And we were sitting in the VIP section right behind the
Flav.
Yeah, and the Knicks, they brought in Flavor Flav, who is family with Steve Mills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
I had no clue.
Yeah, and I got a chance to, talk with him. Growing up, I was a big Public Enemy fan, so that was dope.
That is awesome, man. That's real cool. Let's see. I'm just going to throw a couple other ones out here. This is from last year. I mean, this year.
That's from this year. Yeah,
yes,
this was so much fun this year. With CK and Poppa Left, we had a ball out there. It was funny because I didn't know Poppa Left when I got there. So he was sitting a row in front of me. And he was making so much noise, so much energy. And I was like, yeah, man, this is what I like this. So I wound up going down and introducing myself. And we kind of, we vibe from there. And the energy that we all put out, it was like we had a whole row and we were making so much energy the whole arena could hear us. So it was definitely a fun time.
That is freaking awesome, man. I got a small clip here that I clipped of you guys featured, just rooting. Obviously, you got Poppa Left there, but you're right here in the bottom corner too, man. CK in the back. So just looks like it was such a great time. You know what I mean? You guys had a blast just repping us. You know what I mean? Hard. I feel like everywhere you looked, you turn on the game and they're talking about Knicks fans. You know what I mean? So just amazing energy that we were kind of able to bring from New York over to Vegas.
That's the true passion of the fan base. Every time I go out there, I meet Knicks fans from all over. No matter where I go, when I travel, you know, whether it's Las Vegas, Atlanta, you know, LA, you know, you always run into Knicks fans. We're everywhere. You know,
right.
Yeah. You know, like Sam Mitchell was saying on the broadcast, you know, we take over. When we go places, we let people know, you know, Knicks fans are in the building. So,
Heck yeah, man.
It's all about supporting the team. You know, it's funny because the team were right behind the bench and they hear us. You know, a couple of them will turn around and smile, you know. So, you know, we're trying to, you know, cheer the team on and help them out. And they appreciate it as well.
And you know what? For those guys there, obviously, you know, besides Quickly and Obi, everybody else there was, you know, first times and young guns. So having people like you guys there, you know, and encouraging them, and you know, them hearing it, I feel like it's their first taste almost of New York and MSG and the fan base. You know what I mean? Giving them that confidence. You know, so that's real cool to see. Also, you know, definitely real cool. I gotta ask, what you know, through all the summer leagues that you've been to, anyone that kind of stands out the most to you?
I hate to say it, but KP was that year in 2015, man. You know, I mean, he was that guy for us. You know, unfortunately, you know, we know what happened. Things didn't work out. You know, 2018 was great. I mean, when Kevin Knox, you know, I mean, he's another. You know, even though he, you know, hasn't worked out as a pro, he was terrific, man. You know, you know, everybody thought coming off that summer league that Kevin Knox
was really, Kevin, man,
you know, going to be a star for us. You know, and you know, this year, you know, Mcbride, you know, Deuce Mcbride, man, he was so impressive. You know, everybody's talking about his on-ball defense, you know, and then knocking down the threes and his entire game. You know, I was really impressed with him because I didn't, you know, really watch him that much as a college player. So he
showed out. He definitely did.
He definitely stood out, you know. And it was good to see Obi. It was good to see Obi, even though he was on the team last year and he didn't really get a lot of minutes, you know, behind Randall. So the fact that he was able to, you know, get some time to play his game, you know, I was really happy for him that you could see that the talent is there. He just needs some time to grow.
Absolutely. You know? He did exactly what we wanted him to do. You know, I mean, when you thought about Obi going into summer league, and I feel like that's what we wanted to see. You know, we wanted to see him be confident, be that bigger brother on the court, and kind of have his way a little bit. And we saw it, you know, with Deuce, man. I feel like it took a game or two, but once he got under himself, man, he started believing, you know, and he looks like he could definitely have some promise. Obviously, as you just mentioned, you know, with guys like Kevin Knox having great, you know, summer leagues, it's tough to relate it to how it's going to, you know, pan out in the actual NBA, but it does look promising. You know what I mean? You look for the little things, as we say, you know, how he moves, and I thought he did a great job adjusting and riding the adjustments that he made, you know, in terms of just his play, his spots that he was picking and when he wanted to let him rip. Because at first, you know, the first couple games, you saw him hesitant when he was a little further out shooting the ball, where he passed it. By that third, fourth, fifth game, man, he was just letting him fly, and he was comfortable doing it. So it was just real cool to see. You know, but one thing I do want to touch on that you just mentioned was being summer league, you know, with Kristaps, where he, you know, that was one of the most memorable for you. I just wanted to touch on the fact that I feel like before his injury, he was such a different animal. You know, it's just all completely different. I saw a highlight of him the other day with just a crazy block. He jumped up out of nowhere, swatted it, kept in his palm, held it back, came down, dished it out, and still followed it up on the other end for a dunk. You know, and he's not as athletic. He's not doing those types of things that he was doing before the injury. And so he's a different player now. You know, before injury, if he could have sustained, you know, maybe put on a little bit weight, you know, got into the right regimen in terms of health, you know, and putting his health first. And, you know, what do you need to, at this frame and this type of a body, make sure that it stays healthy. And obviously it's tough, you know, every person's different, but yeah, man, that time he was impressive. He was just a lot more athletic and doing things differently, jumping, you know, just everything.
Yeah,
and it shows, you know.
Yeah, to put that dunk, Remember those putback dunks he was doing early on in his Knicks career, and the leaping, the block shots. He was a monster back then.
Yeah,
you know?
and you know what? If I don't know if you got into like the 2K games at all on Xbox or any of that. Have you played that at all?
Nah, but my son plays a lot of it.
Yeah. I figured I was gonna say, man, I'm sure your son has. But yeah, man, KP, when you played with the Knicks, like in his third year, even though the Knicks stunk, KP was a cheat code. You know what I mean? Like you get him in the low post, and it's just guaranteed. It was pretty funny, man. It really was. It was funny for a second, but enough about KP. You know, once a Knick, always a Knick. I get it, but I want to look towards the future. You know what I mean? So I guess let's talk a little bit about just your summer league experience itself. You know, this year. You know, with Poppa Left, CK. I'm gonna obviously have them on the Knicks Corner tomorrow, so I want to try to weave in a little bit of talk that we've had here, you know, in that conversation tomorrow.
Yeah.
So talk to me, man. Tell me some stories from summer league.
Yeah, man. It was just great bonding with the guys, man. You know, just sitting together, and like I said, Poppa Left. He was the ringleader. He was the guy. He was like, "Come on, guys, come on. We gotta get up. We gotta, let's chant this, let's chant that." I mean, I've been there for years, and I've been in a position where I was the ringleader, but I'm like a veteran now. So I was a little bit more laid back. I was like, all right. And he was like, nah, come on. We got to get up. Let's get this Let's Go Knicks chant going. Let's get this defense chant going,
Heck yeah, man.
And then once we started, the people that were behind us, they started, the other Knicks fans that were in the building. So, I guess that's where Sam Mitchell said Knicks fans are taking over the building, so, no, it was just good. It was good seeing CK2K. I was with him in 2019 on the earthquake game with Zion Williamson.
Yes.
That game.
Yep.
He was there that day, so it was good to connect with him since he's on the West Coast. Don't really get to see him that much. So, so that was good. Just Knicks fans are family, like you said. So, just the fact that
it is, man. We really are.
We're there, we're making noise, we're cheering on the team. That's what it's all about, man. Just all about, the energy that we bring.
It is, man. It really is. And like we were talking before we went live, about the playoffs and the atmosphere and things like that, and just I was at game 2. I didn't get back to game 5. I wish I did, but I just the atmosphere was just insane. In Knicks games, it normally is, but it was a whole nother level, come that game, especially afterwards. So I can't wait to get back and just feel that electricity again,
Yeah. Real quick. Speaking of the energy in the Garden, when I started in the 90s, I got my season tickets the year that Pat Riley became the head coach, and I signed up right away. I called the Garden. I was like, I want season tickets. Yeah. And they were like, unfortunately, we're sold out right now. I was like, what? And then the lady said, hold on, I think I got a cancellation here. Would you be interested in these tickets? And then I was like, yeah, you kidding me? I want them. Give them to me.
Get me in the building, yeah.
Get me in the building. And that was the 91-92 season. And little did I know that I was in for such a ride, because every year in the 90s, we had a chance at winning it. We were so competitive.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
that was great time.
Yeah, it was. That was the heyday. And the way we talk about it today, it's like I never thought that it would be this way. But living that, that experience back then. That's the reason why I still have season tickets to this day, because I'm still waiting to get back to that point, because I know how the Garden is electric, man.
Yep.
And the way the fans showed up this year, and after the pandemic, I think that had a lot to do with it. People were
definitely
home. They didn't really get a chance to get out and do much. So when when they finally were able to get out, it was awesome, man. I was blown away, by how loud the Garden was.
I definitely think it was a perfect storm of everything. I was talking about it with Julito McCollum. Have you linked up with Julito?
Nah, not yet.
Oh man, definitely got him, man.
Yeah,
definitely got to link up. I got him. I'm gonna be talking to him within the next week, so I'll link you guys up.
We'll all get together.
Definitely, man. Absolutely. But he was just saying the same thing the other night. It was just a perfect storm of everything. The Knicks finally, turning coat and becoming, just a winning organization, and seeing it, through the season itself, and then finally being able to be let out because of the pandemic. Everybody's been so locked up. you know. So I just think, and then obviously MSG is the Mecca. So, you know, between everything, I just think it was nuts, man. Because there was even videos during the season of wins, you know, people going nuts outside the Garden. You know, it wasn't just the playoffs.
Yeah.
So just great time. I feel like you're right. We're coming back to that. Back to that.
I got a summer league story for you. I just remembered one. We're
Okay.
sitting down, me, Poppa Left, and CK2K, my son, and a couple other guys. And there's a guy sitting behind us. And, you know, he goes up to Poppa Left and he taps him on the shoulder and says, "Excuse me, are you going to be standing up all game?" And then Poppa Left turns around and looks at him and said, "Hell yeah, I'm going to be standing up all game. What do you think? I'm a Knicks fan. I came 3,000 miles to come see my team play. That's the passion Knicks fans have. Yeah, I'm going to be standing on all game. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that, but this is how we do, you know." And then the guy was like, all right, no problem, you know.
That's so funny, man. He has so much energy. I can't wait to link up with him tomorrow. You know, I just know it's gonna be a crazy show. So I'm glad I was able to get you here also, and you know, get your input and your experience, you know, from summer league, and then obviously a little bit more too. You know, this is the first time we're linking up, so it was cool for me to learn a little bit more about you also, outside, of course, of the MSG commercials that run during every Knicks game when I get to stare at the beautiful collection that you got in your background. So thank you again for coming through, man. I definitely appreciate it. And, you know, before we wrap things up, I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on the future? You know, I want to, you know, going into this season, the moves that we made this off season and how you see things coming together dynamically this season.
Very excited about the future. I mean, you know, since Leon Rose took over, you know, he's been doing a really good job of, you know, establishing the culture. You know, he made the right coaching decision, you know, with Tibbs bringing that defensive, you know, mindset to the team, you know, of course, you know, today with the good news that Julius Randle, you know, he signed his extension, you know, coming off last year. You know, I see him, you know, getting better and better. You know, RJ, you know, he's the sky's the limit for him. He's going to continue to get better. You know, I like the additions to the team this year. We needed a little bit more ball creativity and offense to kind of, you know, take some of the load off of Randle. Because last year in the playoffs, you know, we saw, you know, it was just, you know, too much for him. You know, the Hawks were able to load up on him, you know, because, the whole offense was geared toward him. So, you know, I like what they did, you know, bringing in Kemba. You know, I know it's a little bit of a risk with his knees, but, you know, I'm hoping that if they manage him correctly, that, you know, we can get some, you know, some good time out of, you know, Kemba, you know, with Rose, of course, who did a great job last year. Fournier to give us some good, you know, shot creation.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
At the two guard. So, you know, it's all coming together. You know, they signed guys to manageable contracts. So we need to pivot in any way. You know, they have still, you know, maintained some sort of flexibility.
Yeah, they
way,
did.
You know,
they definitely did.
We still have draft picks. You know, we're still, you know, we're building on two tracks. You know, we got young guys that we're building with. You know,
that's the key right there.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the key. We're doing it from both ends.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And we're finally committed to the development, and that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
You know, and it's not just the development of the guys, you know, from the get-go, but it's also the development of a team just on a year-to-year basis. I mean, I've been talking about it with Coach now for the last couple of weeks. When have, you know, we really committed to a group of guys and, you know, and brought them back, you know, instead of going through the motions year after year. So I feel like we've really set the stage, and I'm looking forward to, you know, exactly what you just said, seeing it all come together this year. So I think it's going to be nothing but exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. That atmosphere in that building is going to be through the roof.
Oh, man. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. You know, opening night, October 20th against the Celtics, is going to be bananas in that building.
Bananas, man. You heard it here first. Bananas. I can't wait, man. Like I said, Greg, I appreciate you so much for coming through. Is there anything that you wanna plug or talk about or throw out there at all?
Nah, just, you know, if you like, you can follow me on Twitter. If you want to follow a diehard Knicks fan, Gregory Armstrong 001. You know, other than that, you know, I'm also on Instagram, Gstrong, GSTR0NG. You know, I like to when I go to games and when I interact with players and stuff like that, I put a lot of cool stuff on my IG. So
absolutely.
Other than that, let's go Knicks.
Appreciate that, man. Greg, thank you again. Everybody listening, you could stream this out on the Knicks Corner, Apple, Spotify. We got this going on YouTube also. So if you want to watch it back, if you're listening and didn't get to see any of the cool picks that I threw up from Greg throughout his time going to Summer League all these years, definitely go and check that out. And then, as he had mentioned, go check him out on Twitter. Follow him on both Instagram and Twitter. He's got always great content. Greg, thank you again, man. And everybody that's here tuning in, I appreciate that. That's the first episode of Knicks Talk. And Greg, you have been the man. So hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Everybody else, enjoy. We'll talk soon. Be good.
All right. Thanks, Danny B. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. Anytime.